right? Now, there are so many interesting parallels, but there's one part that doesn't fit, and that's what we're staying on for a moment, all right? What we don't see its relevance is this story that was told within the dream. And that's the last piece if we can...
Oh, okay, there's an important state of mind that's associated with my depression. All right, it's associated with something I'm working on now, very consciously. When I was telling the story, I was thinking about my great-great-grandfather, and that felt great. And I was thinking about my grandfather, and that felt even greater. And it was this really nice thing. And then I was thinking about my father, and just boom. It was like, oh, pit in the stomach. It was like, I was trying to tell that part of the story. It was like, oh God, was that depressing.
So that's the moment of depression, right?
Depression, lost energy. That's the moment where I'm just, oh shit. And at that point, I say, and then I said, and I inherit, and I'm building off of that. And I told one, and I said, and I came out of that. I'm coming off of that. But it was when I got to my father's role, my father's station.
Let me ask.
My depression came in.
Yeah, okay. See that depression in the dream? All right. Now that you found something common, and now you may have to do something about it, your inheritance is, as you perceive it, the cause of your depression and loss of energy.
Yeah, there's some connection there.
There's a connection. I don't mean to make it causal. Right, but there's a connection, isn't there?
Yeah.
Right. And see, you're successful through here. You're successful here.
And I see they're being successful.
And they're being successful.
They're being successful because my great-great-grandpa, you have a little push cart, and it's like if the line had continued, it would have been a warehouse.
So, as you go through this, right, you're dealing with it effectively. But here's where you get, now we can say, that's the
fall now.
That's the fall.
Yeah. And
well,
at that point, and I remember, this is painful for me to talk about. And at that point, I remember in the dream going, feeling like feeling less than, feeling inferior to, feeling like a victim, feeling like I should receive something, maybe this guy's going to get sympathy or something.
Yeah, maybe I should receive something, right? Because you lost so much.
Look, no, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
It was a little different to that. I understand what you're thinking about. It's a little different to that. It's more like, it was kind of like my sad story at that point. I wasn't glad that I had a sad story to tell. I wish I had a better story to tell. I felt guilty that I somehow hadn't cleaned up better.
Yeah. So you see, you're climbing and doing good work, recovering, and that story and the way you understand the story puts you in a depression, loss of energy, guilty. And how does that then make you no longer effective? What price are you paying for identifying in this story? Your mind is showing you this, isn't it? Holding it up for you, isn't it?
Well, looking at the first two generations of these touch bands in America, I'm pretty proud of them. I mean, they really did something quite significant. And I'm feeling, as kind of a member of that video, I'm feeling pretty happy. But then I can talk about my father, and then it's kind of good.
Yeah. In terms of this story then, do you agree? What you're upset about is identifying with the loss, not what your great-grandfather and grandfather did. You're not identifying with them. You're identifying with the loss of your father.
It's literally a dead beat. It's a missed beat.
Yeah. But that's in terms of this dream and what you're relating to it, is that this is the connection.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying for making that connection with your father.
For always being a Jew?
Well, with that teaching, you believed it. You believed it. The grandfather and your great-grandfather didn't believe it.
Didn't believe what?
That they're outsiders and they couldn't succeed. So look, there's a model. We become the copy. Look what this dream has done. Look, now, certainly we might want to do more work on this, but would you agree we can say several things? The dream skillfully has chosen themes that he can relate to, and on reflection he can link up to his own personal past. That the sayings and the statements have a whole history to them. Let's present it this way now, all right? This is his past. Let's work on an assumption. The assumption is whatever crafted the dream wants to send him a message. Here's the message. The message is, you're paying a price for this identification. To tell him that message, from his own past comes all of these images, so the dream master has to pull out these images, knowing full well that there's a connection between each one of these images, which is what we got when we got him to reflect further and further, did we not? We were able to draw that from him. We were able to look at the themes that were developed. The themes were developed. There was a nice, interesting division between the mother's side and the father's side, and the crisis that occurred. And so the Dream Master then is weaving these things together like a tapestry of different threads and presenting a message, right? Which you can only get by reflecting on it, considering it over and again, in terms of your own personal experience. Now, that was quite interesting. It even brought in your past with Buddhism and the fact that your spiritual teacher, the Buddhist, gave you a task and you thought it was, as you described it, absurd. And so you left on that, forgetting that it may in fact have been a spiritual exercise.
Yeah.
And so that cost you, and your dream is giving that back to you to reflect upon and to look. And it's doing that with great efficiency, great skill. Now, yeah.
Interestingly enough, my elbow grease working the day before, I decided to start exercising. There's a job I might want to apply for that's going to require that I be in physical condition. And I'm bicycling, looking forward to exercising and getting strength. And getting my strength.
Gee, it wouldn't have had to have worked if your father hadn't lost all that money.
See, that's not true. But yeah, that's what it's like. It's kind of like
that's what it's like.
I have to be a manual laborer, a lower class person.